Okay, Director Rosario, we're ready.
Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the closed session of the Board of Directors of the East Bay Regional Park District. Today is August 26th, 2021, and we are beginning at 6:34. Madam Clerk, can you please take the roll?
Yes, President Rosario. Director Coffey,
Present.
Director Waspy,
Present.
Director Wieskamp,
Here.
Director Corbett,
Here.
President Rosario,
Here.
and Director Lane and Director Eccles will be joining us shortly. Staff, General Manager Landreth.
Here.
Deputy General Manager Alvarez.
Present.
District Council Victor.
Here.
AGM Walker.
Here.
And I do not see anyone else on the executive team right now. But anyway, thank you. Just to let you know, before you speak, Director Rosario, there's no need to raise your hands. Everyone that's in the meeting, I know that you are here to publicly comment. So thank you.
And upon hearing that, I believe we have public comments.
Yes, President Rosario. What I plan to do is read all of those who actually sent an email in advance before the deadline. Those of you who did not and are interested in speaking, we will do you after those that registered to speak in advance. These are in no particular order other than the fact that they are whoever emailed first. So that's the order that they're in. So we're going to start with, and please be ready. We have 2 minutes. The first 5 speakers I'm going to call, please be ready. First is Chris Newell, then Cliff Rocha, then Gail Brewster, Nate Luna, and Sabrina Sexton. Chris.
Thank you a lot, Yolanda. My name is Chris Newell, president of ASME Local 2428. President Rosario, Board of Directors, General Manager Landreth. At this week's negotiation session, financial consultant Christian Belcher gave a presentation of his analysis of the East Bay Regional Park District's finances and financial position compared to other Bay Area agencies. At the conclusion of his presentation, there was no rebuttal of his analysis. There was no pointing out inaccuracies. It was silence. It has become abundantly clear that the debate is not about if the East Bay Regional Park District can afford the union's wage proposal. It's about, are we important enough to? It's about if AFSCME employees are a big enough priority. It's about why the Park District pay fair wages now when you can get off paying fair wages in a couple years. This board of directors and management team would rather pay for projects and accumulate slush funds while your workforce struggles to pay their bills, pay their rents or their mortgages, and put food on the table. I can barely afford to send my oldest son to community college. We have one 20-year-old car to share between a family of 5, and I'm doing better off than many of my union brothers and sisters in this local. We keep the parks operating. We keep folks safe. We steward the land. It's not good enough anymore. We have waited patiently for too long. We will no longer allow you to prioritize everything else above the majority of your workforce. We need median wages now. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chris. Cliff Rocha.
Thank you, Yolanda.
You're welcome.
I can't seem to turn on my video, but you can hear me, so that's great. President Rosario, Parks Board members, GM Landreth, my name is Cliff Rocha. I am the Park Supervisor for Alameda County Trails, former union president, and currently a union shop steward. When I was president back in 2013, we faced concession bargaining under Robert Doyle. But times have changed. Unions are on the rise, and the public supports our efforts because they know we were there for them through the darkest days of the pandemic, and we continue to be so. Yet once again, we find ourselves at impasse during negotiations. This routine pattern the district likes to follow with regards to how it administers negotiations with its public employees union is tiresome, unnecessary, and a waste of public funds. Please understand the seriousness of the situation and ask yourself a few questions. GM Landreth, are you willing to risk the stain of a union work stoppage during your first year of your tenure here at the Park District? President Rosario and Secretary Waspy, have you forgotten your union roots? and the frustration I know you felt in the past every time we got to this point in previous negotiations. And to all the board members, you alone have the power to end this unnecessary exercise. The district can't afford our proposal. Stop trying to justify less than median in the first year. Enough with the delays. We cannot continue to operate a world-class institution with less than average wages for employees. We've waited long enough and are resolved to do whatever it takes to settle this. Authorize your negotiations team to return to the table with full authority to close this deal and bring us to median in the first year. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Chris. Excuse me, Cliff. Our next speaker is Gail Brewster. Gail.
Okay, I'm unable to start my video either. Okay, something's going on. This is Gail Brewster. I'm a naturalist with the district.
No.
Oh, okay. And I've been a naturalist with the district for 26 years. And this is the first time I have ever spoken at one of these meetings. I've come to many of them through different actions during that time, and I've never felt moved to speak, and I'm doing it now. Okay. First, I want to thank the board for setting up this special meeting. It is appreciated because we need your help. I have a master's degree, and I'm at the highest step for my classification, but you may not realize I work a second job just to remain in the Bay Area. Management has been paid over a median wage for years, while union members continue to be paid below it. Memos and letters telling us we're important, essential, and appreciated are nice, but they're empty compliments and they don't pay the bills. The district has consistently had a budget surplus that would pay us a living wage, yet it is routinely spent on special projects. We aren't asking for above median. We aren't asking for additional steps like the managers get. What we're asking for is to be paid fairly. As a longtime employee and resident, I urge the board to do the right thing and bring all staff to median now. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail. Our next speaker is Nate Luna.
Can you hear me? You can hear me, okay. Esteemed board members and General Manager Landreth, my name is Nate Luna. I've worked with the Park District for 9 years. I'm currently a project manager. And hold on, it's asking me to start the video. Okay, here I am, hi. I'm one of the people that you've heard stories about that have been working double duty with classifications since 2018. In 2018, our department was reorganized, and at this exact time, on December 31st, 2017, my supervisor retired. That position, the contract and encroachment permit supervisor, was essentially parked and not funded. It was assumed that my position, project manager, would absorb the workload of my supervisor. This did two things. First, it created an impossible workload for me. Second, it took away my opportunity to promote to the supervisor position. But I'm not here to talk about my position. I'm using my position as an example of a situation that is going on district-wide. I'm here to speak for the park supervisors and staff who have been handed acres and acres of land to manage without a pay raise or additional staff. I'm here to talk about the park district staff that are working double duty to make up for vacancies that have not been filled. I'm here to talk about classifications that have not been brought to median, although that was promised as part of the class and comp study. I feel our loyalty and work ethic is being taken advantage of. And come to find out, this strategy is called minimal staffing model. Minimal staffing, why? I appreciate the conservative financial stewardship of public funds, the remaining solvent in an uncertain world. However, perhaps we've gone too far in one direction. It does not sit right with me to now find out that the Park District is sitting on a war chest of money. It is irresponsible to not use taxpayer money in order to staff at appropriate levels and not pay your labor force at least median, while management is paid over median. There's money to acquire more and more property, increasing workloads, but not to pay workers a fair wage. Please bring my coworkers to median April 1st, 2021. Fund firefighters 100% when working out of county to fight these beastly fires. The time has passed. There's zero reason not to fill the vacant positions and bring all classifications to median, retroactive April 1st, 2021. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Nate. Our next speaker is Sabrina Sexton, followed by Will Rose, James Ginley, Sergio Huerta. Sabrina?
Hi, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Dear Board of Directors, my name is Sabrina Sexton, and I have been a water management technician for the East Bay Regional Park District for the past year. I grew up in the East Bay and frequented East Bay Regional Parks, as did my parents before me and their parents before them. And I'd like to stay here, but as it stands, I can barely afford to live here. My partner and I live with 2 roommates out of necessity because that is what it takes for us to be able to afford the ever increasing costs of rent here. I love my job. I love helping to safeguard public health at our parks, but it's a lot of work. There are 3 people in my division, my small sub-department, that are in charge of all of the recreational and drinking water for the entire district. That being said, there are 73 parks within the district that we are constantly roving back and forth to, 3 of us. It's a lot of work, and it's work that we do proudly, but we deserve to be compensated fairly for the work that we do. According to the 2019 Ralph Anderson study, my position was underpaid by 10%. I can only imagine how much further behind median I've slipped in the 3 years of board inaction since then. Bringing all district workers to median immediately is the fair thing to do. And what's more, we know the board has more than enough money left over from over budgeting the past 5 years to do this. I'm asking the board to treat its employees, the lifeblood of this organization, with the respect and dignity we deserve. I'm asking you all to bring us to median immediately. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Sabrina. Our next speaker is Will Rose.
Hi, thank you. My name is Will Rose, and I've been a field office surveyor with the district for 5 years now. And like my AFSCME brothers and sisters, I want to just say that it's time for you to act on the compensation study that was completed 3 years ago and bring our workers to median wages now, retroactive to April 1st when our contract expired. Okay, thanks. I have no idea where I left off.
Well, why don't you just start over without all the introductions, just start reading.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I just want the board to do what's right and take care of the workers that make these parks stay open and keep the public safe in the parks and bring us up to median wages. Thank you. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Our next speaker is James Ginley.
Hello, I don't have a video today, but I'll be a voice just for you all. Hello, members of the board, President Rosario, General Manager Landreth. My name is James Ginley. I'm the head lifeguard over at Don Castro. As many other public commentators have stated, bringing employees up to median is simply the right thing to do, and the district can afford it based on the analysis by a third party, which went uncontested. However, if doing the right thing for the right thing's sake is not a good enough reason, there is another important reason to offer a competitive wage, and that is the ability to maintain our parks and open them to the public. As I talked about last time, the lack of fair and competitive pay at the district is directly leading to large amounts of vacancies across the district. This is especially true among lifeguards who have to compete with other similar paying jobs that do not require over 80 hours of prerequisite training, a high initial barrier and a difficult timed swim test, and the responsibility for keeping people safe and protecting their well-being in deep, dark, murky water. I know personally that the lifeguard services team is doing everything they can to bring in new lifeguards. Shout out to Tyler Waspy in charge of recruitment, and retains the ones we have, but they simply are not able to do it because management refuses to offer competitive and fair compensation. Lifeguard ones especially are over 10% below median, according to the district's own study, and all lifeguards are hurt again by these vacancies when we are denied overtime from 40 to 45 hours. So we're hurt twice. These vacancies have already led to reduced capacities even after COVID capacities went away, and will continue to lead to reduced capacities and possibly even closures in the future. Honestly, the lifeguard service is lucky that we had facilities not open this year because we probably would not have been able to staff them. This hurts your constituents, the people who voted and put you in your positions, and the people who will have to do so again at your next election. I'm calling on the board to direct the management's negotiation team to accept the proposals, both on bringing all district employees up to median and changing overtime accrual for lifeguards from starting at 45 to 40 hours. Not only is it the right thing to do for the employees, but also for the public and for your re-election chances. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, James. Sergio Huerta. Sergio?
Yeah, sorry. Thank you,
That's okay.
Yolanda.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Board of Directors, President Rosario, and General Manager Landreth. I'd like to take my time to read for one of our members, and that member is Park Ranger JT Henderson. And I'd like to begin now. From JT Henderson, thank you for taking the time to allow me to comment. My name is JT Henderson. I have been with the Park District for over 14 years. I'm proud to tell people I'm a park ranger for the East Bay Regional Park District. I'm also proud of the work I do and the people who support my hard work. This pride includes our managers and board members. However, that pride in management is diminishing rapidly as these negotiations continue. Negotiations can sometimes be contentious, but this year there is really no reason they need to be. Years ago, we were told we needed a class and comp study in order to get substantial raises. Finally, here we are with the proof we are underpaid. The East Bay Regional Park District claims to be the best park district in the world, but management does not pay AFSCME members median or high enough wages compared to other Bay Area agencies. The district's management continues to add land, welcome more and more park users, and pile extra work onto our plates. As a ranger in Tilden Park, one of our original and busiest parks, I have never seen higher public usage in my career. We are considered essential workers. We were asked to risk exposure every day to keep our parks open for the unprecedented crowds, while management risked nothing during this pandemic. Shouldn't the pay scale be reflective of our commitment to face the district being paid above median like our managers? Management can afford these wage increases for staff 3 times over. We want median in the first year, not sprinkled over the next few years while the costs of living increase. Management got paid median years ago. District management had nothing to say in rebuttal when we presented them with enough irrefutable facts that there is enough money to do this. There has never been a time that our services have been this important to the public. Pay your workers more to retain the high quality employees that make us the best park agency. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Tim Parker. And may I remind everyone just quickly, please mute yourself when you enter and only undo your video when it's time to speak. Thank you. Tim.
Thank you. I'd just like to say before I start that I feel it's disrespectful to limit people to 2 minutes. I, for one, spent hours, literal hours, putting together my statement. And I think the board could give us 1 more minute apiece to be with you and tell you our thoughts on this matter. It's very important.
Tim, if
but
you
I guess
would
I'll
like
rush through my statement as best I can.
Tim, if you would like to, after you get to your 2 minutes, feel free to send us that on an email. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. My name's Tim Parker. I've been with the district over 20 years, most of that time at Tilden Park, where I currently work. I was online last night looking at salaries for a couple of district positions. Deputy General Manager was paid almost $243,000 in 2018. This is about 250% higher than the average pay for coworkers and almost 300% higher than the national average for government employees. General Manager's position in 2018 got paid over $300,000. This is well over 300% higher than the average pay for other types of government employees. Almost 390% higher than the national average for government employees. Webster's dictionary defines median as something that lies halfway between 2 extremes. One synonym for median is average. People I've had the good fortune to have worked with over the last 20 years are far from average. Field employees are skilled, creative, flexible, strong, and resourceful people who sometimes have to switch gears on a moment's notice to respond to an emergency, fix a problem, answer a question, or help a park visitor. Often the plan you have for the day gets thrown out the window when confronted by the reality you face when you enter your park. Average doesn't apply to AFSCME workers. At yesterday's negotiation, the union's financial expert gave a detailed report looking at the district's financial ability to prioritize investing in its employees, who currently sit an average of 10% below median when compared to employees of similar Bay Area agencies, while management is about 5% above. In the presentation, we saw that in terms of liquidity, profitability, and solvency, the Park District is in outstanding financial health. It was clear that should the district choose to prioritize its employees over one-time expenditures, land purchases, pet projects, etc., it could easily do so. After the presentation, there was total silence from the district's top financial managers. No rebuttal, no questions, nothing. We are left to think, with no argument from management, that though the Park District is more than able to afford the union's proposed financial package without any hardship, they are choosing not to. It's important for me to try to do everything in my power to help avoid a strike, which is the last thing anyone wants. AFSCME employees have been paid well below median for years now. We are the people who make everything happen. We turn your visions into reality. We keep the parks safe and accessible for the public. We make it possible for you to win awards and pass bond measures with relative ease. You have the means and the opportunity to do the right thing. Please extend your authority to the district management team to accept our last financial package proposal and end this impasse. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Again, feel free to send that to us if you had more additional to say on an email. And
thank you, I will. I also have statements from Colin Gallagher and Christy McKenzie.
Yes, I have that. Just I'll let you speak. Just want to let everyone know that Director Lane has joined the meeting. So welcome, Director Lane. Okay, Tim, you're going to be speaking for Colin and was it Christy?
Correct.
Okay, so you have 2 minutes for each of those. Thank you.
I'm going to read Colin's first. Dear members of the board, thank you for allowing me to speak. I've been a Park District employee for 8 years as Park Ranger, Trail Crew Supervisor, On-Call Firefighter, and Fuels Reduction Coordinator. Those who know me know that I'm a dedicated and hardworking employee for whom this is more than a job. When I started with the district, California state parks were closing parks due to lack of funding. We, by contrast, have plenty of money to keep parks open and staffed. We have the public's trust and they reward us with taxes and bond measures. I found it particularly rewarding to be a Reinhardt Redwood Park Ranger through the pandemic. Keeping parks open as an essential worker made a difference in the health and well-being of a terrified and suffering public. We dutifully stayed at our posts through it all while trying to keep our families at home safe too. More visitors thanked me for our work than ever before. More about Redwood in 2020. With reservations canceled and facilities closed, we took it as an opportunity to accomplish more than ever. We constructed a major trail improvement, completely renovated a beloved picnic site, refinished group camp shelters, replumbed and repainted restrooms. No one instructed us to do these things, nor did they cost much beyond our normal wages. We did them because that is what we do. AFSCME employees are the backbone of the Park District. Without us, this agency has nothing. Take away the capital projects and the land acquisitions, and you still have 125,000 acres of parkland with hardworking staff keeping them beautiful and safe. Take away us, and things will quickly fall apart. If you want to see the difference, look across the road from Redwood Park to the city of Oakland's Walking Miller Park. Broken glass, overflowing trash cans, dirty facilities, trail system and infrastructure in shambles, and hardly a uniformed employee to be seen unless there's a life-threatening emergency. I love my job, which is why I'm dismayed that the Park District continues to resist bringing AFSCME members up to a median wage. Not only are we the Park District's greatest asset, we are part of the fabric of the East Bay. We don't just work here. We live here and the parks are an integral part of our lives. But while the cost of living rises yearly, we struggle to live here and support our families. One of the district's budget objectives is recruit and retain a diverse and skilled workforce. We are failing. Good employees are leaving for better paying jobs or cheaper areas. When we ask why doesn't the district want to address this issue, we've been told that is not the priority. If that is truly the case, then ask yourselves, what is the priority? I urge you to authorize management to accept our economic proposal. Thank you.
Our next one you're going to read is Christy McCaskey.
Correct. Good afternoon. This comment is from Christy McCaskey, a GIS analyst who has worked at the Park District for 6 years. As you all know, the East Bay Regional Park District is the largest regional park system in the nation and continues to grow. The district continues to acquire new land. The number of park users keeps increasing and the list of work that needs to be done gets longer and longer. With growth comes more work, more lands to steward, and more park visitors to welcome. Now is the time to start prioritizing us, the AFSCME members who have been entrusted to steward the land and welcome the visitors. AFSCME members deserve to be paid fairly. The Ralph Anderson class and comp study was completed in 2019, and the data shows that on average, employees are paid 10.7% below median. The study identified my job classification as 21.6 below median, 21.6% below what other comparable Bay Area public agencies are willing to pay. Now is the time to use the data collected in the study to bring all employees up to a fair, equitable wage, not in year 2 of a new contract. I urge you, the board of directors, to direct the management bargaining team to pay AFSCME members a fair, equitable wage, to pay us median starting the day our contract expired. Doing so will show us that you support, appreciate, and value us and the work we do. This request is fair, reasonable, feasible, and long overdue. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Tim. Just a little announcement that Matthew put in the chat, the YouTube link. So if some of you are interested in watching the meeting, you can actually go there. Just a little FYI. Our next 5 speakers will be Anjay Bray, Amy Coulter, Araceli Gaona, James Wilson, and Ari Suzuki. Anja.
Hi, sorry, I can't start my video either. Dear members of the board, President Rosario, and General Manager Landreth, my name is Anya, and I've been working for the East Bay Regional Park District for 4 years as a water quality professional. I observed yesterday's negotiations meeting, and Christian Belcher's analysis of the district's financials concluded that the Park District is in outstanding financial health and is more than capable to cover the cost of the union's proposal. We know since 2019 that AFSCME members are paid 10% below median, while managers are paid 5% above. AFSCME members have been paid far below workers doing the same work at other Bay Area agencies for many years. We deserve to be paid fair wages now. Members of the board, please direct the management's negotiation team to support AFSCME's proposal and to bring us to median in year 1. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Amy Coulter. Amy.
Good evening. Thank you, Yolanda, and board members, and President Rosario and General Manager Landreth. My name is Amy Coulter. I've been with the district for over 20 years. I work normally in the Interpretive Parklands Unit as an administrative specialist. I am acting currently in MAST in the contracts position. We work very hard, AFSCME members, and I want to agree with everything AFSCME members have already asked you to do for us in this contract. Not all of it affects me, but I know we deserve everything we're asking for. Because why? We've been working under medium wage for how long now? Well, the facts have already been stated to you all. So we know that we deserve to be brought up retroactively, in my mind, to the first of the year, but at the very least, as of April 1st, 2021. It's very important because management can afford these wage increases, as we've seen by the financial analysis report that was presented to your management team, that you have over 3 times of liquidity in cash, sitting in cash that you can afford to pay AFSCME members what we're currently asked for in our 3-year contract. I'm not saying we can afford to pay management members, but I know we can afford to pay AFSCME members to bring us up to medium and to give us a fair CPI immediately, retroactively, as of April 1st. We stand united and together as a union. We don't want any more subpar wages. And I'm asking you, why do you think people like myself don't trust elected officials and what they tell us? Because by allowing your negotiation team to not discuss the facts in a fair and equitable way, you're actually promoting the lack of trust when you deny the facts, you use half-truths or lies, or you just ignore our requests for equity. Over the years, they've been ignored. And in doing this, you are being disingenuous to your employees and the public by allowing inequity to continue and widen. Because you as an agency, as a premier agency, should be continuing to create wonderful living wage jobs that promote a quality of life for people who want to stay at the agency and who can afford to live in the Bay Area. So I'm asking you to go back and make the decision to do the right thing immediately and stop this unfair labor negotiation. It's gone on long enough. We are tired. And the public deserves a present staff in their parks. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Amy. Our next speaker is Araceli. Araceli Guyona. There you go. You have 2 minutes. You can speak, Araceli. Okay, we're going to come back to you. Maybe you're having some problems. I saw you pop up. James Wilson. James Wilson.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm here.
Okay, there you go.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you have 2 minutes, James.
Okay. Thank you, Board of Directors and General Manager Landreth, for the opportunity to speak. My name is James Wilson. I'm calling from Martinez, California, on the unceded lands of the Muwekma and Karkeen peoples. I feel so lucky to be a community member of the East Bay, an employee for the district for 21 years and 11 years as a permanent employee. I feel vested in the opportunities these places have granted me and my family. I feel proud to work for an agency with such tradition and foresight, to be able to create systems of public parkland and leverage community and government support to do so. I'm proud of the district's direction in going towards in providing equitable access and remaining in reimagining what parks are and going to be into the future. I'm proud of my colleagues and proud to carry on the spirit and work of past employees who have retired or are no longer with us here physically. I'm also proud that as an agency, we have weathered storms, fires, recessions, and now on course for pandemics, all the while continuing to provide essential services, grow in our acreage, grow in our personnel, and grow our opportunities and remain fiscally responsible. To paraphrase Christian Belcher's report that was presented yesterday on the financial analysis of the East Bay Regional Park District, the district is banking 45% of its general fund expenditures, which is more than double the average of 17 of its peer governments and triple the floor recommended by the Government Finance Officers Association. As an agency, we invest, leverage, lobby, collaborate, build, and strengthen who we are. We also save for what unknowns may come ahead. And it is also our responsibility to give back to the community to whom we are beholden. If the Park District has the funds, and they do, it seems the right thing to do is invest in the people who work here, and to see the return on this investment through the cost of living up front and perpetuate all this good we have created into the future. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you, James. I'm going to go back to Araceli. Okay. All right. We'll keep moving. I'll try you again, Araceli. Constance, excuse me. No, Ari Suzuki. Ari. There you go. You have 2 minutes, Ari.
Thank you. Good evening, directors. My name is Ari Suzuki and have worked for the district since 2005. I love the outdoors and I love working to make the parks more accessible to all. I take this mission to heart because I know firsthand how healing time in nature can be. Last summer, the board unanimously committed to making the parks more equitable, including making our workplaces more equitable. As a public agency using public funds, our day-to-day decisions and priorities should be informed by those who come from and intimately know the culture, the strengths and challenges of those we have committed to serve. Recruit, retain, and develop a more diverse workforce that represents the communities we serve. Representation matters. You have often spoken to the need to safeguard our resources, and the increased acreage and the increased cash reserves speak to at least those priorities. But the park district that the people love is really developed, created, maintained, and promoted by us, the people who work here. We go above and beyond to make it a place that the public can feel welcome. We deserve better than to be just told that we are important and essential. Real priorities are evident in what is prioritized in the budget. Once the board commission classification and compensation study was completed, and it became public knowledge just how much we had been underpaid all this time, I had hoped that it would become a priority for the board to choose to do the right thing. I am here to ask you to pay a fair wage for the essential work that we have been doing since before and have continued to do throughout this pandemic. Please take the opportunity now to make your actions match your words. Thank you.
Thank you, Ari. I apologize for that. I have removed that gentleman twice. I don't know how he's coming back in. Sarah, if you could take a look at that. Araceli, you have 2 minutes, please.
Actually, I also have, I'm supposed to read a comment for somebody else who couldn't be here tonight.
Okay, if
Should
you
I
could
do that
just,
now?
let me go to Araceli and then I'll come back to you, Ari.
Okay.
Thank you. And whoever that anonymous guest is, please do not let them in. We can't hear you, Araceli. You're on mute. Okay, let's see. You're on mute, Araceli. Let me put you on hold and then come back to Ari and then come back to you so you can fix that. Okay, Ari. Read your letter, a comment from Carmen.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, board members. My name is Carmen Gutierrez, and I work in reservations at Peralta Oaks. I fully support our union's position for fair and equitable wages. It is more than necessary with the economic environment that the Bay Area, it is more than necessary with the economic environment of the Bay Area, and more than evident that this organization is able to do so. Thank you for accepting my comment. Thank you, Carmen Gutierrez.
Thank you, Ari. Araceli, you want to try it one more time? Okay, guess we're just having some issues with your connection. All right, so let's go to the next speakers. I have Constance Taylor, Carolyn Creso, Liz Bittner, and Eric Holmes. So Constance, and I also see that you're reading a comment for Ashley Adams.
I am, yes.
Okay, you have 2 minutes, Constance.
Thank you, Yolanda. For both of them or for each?
For each.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. I'll read the statement from Ashley Adams first. My name is Ashley Adams, and I work as a naturalist at Black Diamond Mines. I love my job and put myself through school to receive my bachelor's degree because I wanted this job so badly. Receiving a full-time position with the district in 2017 was a dream come true, but since then, I have struggled to afford my student loan payments. I never thought I would be on such a tight budget where I've had to find other gigs when not serving the public as an EBRPD naturalist just to support myself. As a national award winner in the field of interpretation, EBRPD is constantly touted as the top of our field. Our pay should at least reflect the median for comparable agencies in our area. Thank you for considering fair pay. And I'll go ahead and read my statement next.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, President Rosario, members of the board, General Manager Landreth. My name is Constance Taylor, and I've worked as a naturalist with the district for the past 4.5 years and live in Oakland on the unceded land of Lishan Ohlone. Today, I come to you frustrated that AFSCME was forced to declare an impasse after 8 months of negotiations. We are not asking for the moon. We are asking to be brought up to average so we can continue living and working in the Bay Area. We do not have 3 years to wait while our pay slowly creeps upward under management's current proposal. Cesar Chavez, who we commemorate with a holiday at the district, famously said that the fight is never about grapes or lettuce. It is always about people. We are the people who are fighting to be recognized and prioritized for the work we do for the district. Management has been prioritized to the tune of being 5% over average, while AFSCME positions languish, unfilled, and underpaid. You cannot tell us that there is not money to pay us a median wage while at the same time overpaying management. If we are not being prioritized with the district's millions of dollars worth of savings, and if we are not being prioritized after a pandemic in which we all continued to provide exceptional service to the public, and if we are not being prioritized after both national and local reckonings with widespread financial instability due to wage stagnation, then when? I'm asking you, when will we be prioritized? That time is now. Do not ask us to keep waiting. Bring us to median in the first year and retroactive to April 1st. Please break this impasse and do right by us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Constance. Our next speaker is Carolyn Creasot.
I'm sorry, Yolanda, may I read for her? This is Sergio Huerta. She asked me to read for her.
Okay, Sergio, 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, board members, President Rosario, and General Manager Landreth for this opportunity to speak. Good evening. My name is Carolyn Creasot. I'm a park ranger at Diablo Foothills. I've worked for the district for over 5 years, and I am tired of hearing that the district does not have the funds to bring its workers to median wages. It's public knowledge that AFSCME workers are paid on average 10% below median wages compared to similar Bay Area agencies, while management is paid on average 5% above average. We need to be brought to median wages now, and we need our wages to reflect the cost of living increases over the next 3 years of this current contract. It is insulting that management doesn't want to pay us fairly for the work we do. We are not asking for above average pay. We are not asking for anything grandiose. We have already been coerced into dropping many important items during negotiations that we as a union felt were important, including multilingual incentive pay, as well as deferred comp. And now we're asked to bargain down to below median wages. The money is there. It just needs to be allocated to the workers because we are the ones out here. We have been working day in and day out through the pandemic, through wildfires and smoke, keeping our parks open and safe for the public. Board of Directors, please exercise the power to pay us just and fair wages. We would like to avoid a strike, both for the impacts to the public and to the loss of pay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Carolyn from Sergio. So our next speaker will be Liz Bittner. Liz. Okay, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna go back to Araceli right quick. And I can't see everyone, so. Okay, we'll keep moving. The next speaker will be Eric Holmes. There you go, Eric. You have 2 minutes, sir.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Good evening, President Rosario and members of the board. My name is Eric Holmes. I am a proud union member of AFSCME Local 2428. I strongly back our union negotiations team. During my 8 years here and now third round of negotiations with this organization, I have grown impatient, waiting to be paid a fair wage. Each time we are told to wait, that we are an outstanding workforce, but that we need to wait. Wait for what? It is not a great feeling being told that we're outstanding yet paid below median. Why do we get taken advantage of working for an organization that tells us that we're above average, yet this organization can't be bothered to pay us even median? Only the board can break this impasse. Authorize your management team to bring us to median retroactive to April 1st. The deal is right in front of you. Take it.
Thank you, Eric. Our next speaker is Lance Tatler. Lance.
Good evening, members of the board, General Manager Landreth, fellow ASME members. I'm here. Let me start over. I go to work every day as a park specialist for the past 3 years to be a steward of the land, number one, and to help members of the public enjoy their space, their open space. And I'm proud to do that day in and day out. I'm here tonight in this board meeting to be with my brothers and sisters in the union. When I found out that a number of them were 5%, 10%, as far as 15% below median, that's unacceptable. And then to hear that, in fact, the district does have money to bring us to a median wage, I had to say something. I didn't prepare anything. This is off the cuff. This is how I feel. I'm here in support of my colleagues. I want to show up to work every day and know that they're being paid for the wonderful work that they do. I had the pleasure of working with Colin Gallagher and Reinhardt Redwood, and he's right. No one told us to make the park better. It's just something that we do. And I see it not only at our park, but at other parks and in other parts of the district, other facets as well. So if indeed we are an essential workforce, please do what's right and use the money that is available to pay us a fair wage. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Lance. The next 5 speakers are going to be Alex Collins, Hillary Van Osten, Alex Weber, Aki McKenzie, and Tiffany Colby Telford. Alex, you're up.
Hi, thank you.
Welcome.
So President Rosario, members of the board, executive team, and fellow ASME members, my name is Alex Collins. I'm a naturalist at Del Val. I've been with the Park District since 2019 and have loved working with the talented individuals on the ground and front lines, both as a park ranger and as a naturalist. Throughout the pandemic, we've stepped up, we've worked hard, and we've kept things going. Additional responsibilities continue to be added, but we always made it work. I got to see the amazing work and passion of my coworkers. I'm proud of them, the work we do, and the difference that we make in our communities. District management has been paid above median. And although we've shown through financial analysis that there is money to bring the rest of the staff to median as well, and bring it to that place now, not over years and future promises. Please bring all classifications to median, backdated to April 1st, 2021, when our contract expired. The East Bay cost of living is incredibly high, and it's not going to get any less. We work here, we live here, we play here. We want to be able to afford to stay here. Please take care of park workers that keep these parks open and the public safe. Large numbers of vacancies and poor retainment hurt us both in the short term and in the long term as talented individuals leave. I'm calling on the board to direct management team to bring all employees up to median. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Alex. Our next speaker, Hillary. You have 2 minutes, ma'am.
Thank you. Not sure where to start. I could start with myself. I'm Hillary Van Osten. I'm the senior graphic designer with the Park District. I've been working with the district now for 18 years. And I'd like to see the board support the workers here, support us, the ASME folks, and bring us up to median. That's basically my message. And I know I help make the parks look good, and I would appreciate it if you will give us your support and make us feel good. Thanks.
Thanks, Hillary. Alex Weber. Okay, not hearing anything.
Hi.
Oh, there you go.
My video is not working either, but thank you so much. Thank you, Yolanda, members of the board, GM Landreth. I'll just keep it brief. There are plenty of organizations like AT&T, like Amazon, like Walmart, who have chosen the wrong path. They have little concern for their frontline employees. These are not the examples that the management of the district should be following. We're a nonprofit, and our mission should be to honor and take care of the people who make and keep our parks the gems that they are. That is it. Thanks for letting me speak.
Thank you, Alex. Our next speaker is Aki McKenzie.
Hello, can you hear me and see me?
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Board of Directors, General Landreth, and President D. Rosario and Yolanda. My name is Aki McKenzie. I have been a park ranger and several other positions with the district, most recently a naturalist aide, and I've been with the district for at least 12 years. I would like to quote, important elements to consider when deciding on a labor market position include the following: the Parks District's ability to pay, priority of compensation versus other expenditures, recruitment and retention, turnover issues or the absence of which, comparability of the survey agencies, size, cost of living differences, etc., the mix of salary and benefits, and providing a total compensation for employees. Well, we know that the Park District has the ability to pay, and we do need to prioritize compensation over other expenditures. And if we don't do the right thing, recruitment and retention will soon be another issue for the Park District. We are one of the top agencies in the Bay Area in comparison, so we should be given the top pay. The mix of salary and benefits. Well, our benefits are comparable to other agencies, so it's actually negligible what the benefit cost will be. I would like the board to consider bringing its essential workers up to median year one. We have been there for the community and are there for the community and park users. We need you to be there in this crucial time for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Aki. Tiffany? Tiffany Telford?
Oh, it says I can't do video. Can that be repaired or no?
You can speak for 2 minutes. We're having some glitches here, so yes.
Okay.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
I'm Tiffany Colby. I'm a ranger out of Contra Loma. I've been with the Park District since 2015. I've been a park employee with other districts since 2003. This is what I have to say. I also have someone else to read after my own, but there is no justice without equal treatment. Some of us managers and confidentials are paid 5% over, while almost all of AFSCME is paid less than median. There's nothing in lip service or public praise that can pay our costs of living, compliments without forethought to budget for our fair pay. There's no admiration or respect deserved by those that hoard and have, but don't truly care for and tend, buying land, building visitor centers, but minimally staffing, failing to fill vacancies, failing to prioritize median pay. There is a responsibility to your public, your park employees, and to the lands you're given the great privilege of protecting to represent your words with action. We don't need emails of gratitude, diversity enamel pins, anniversary cutting boards if we don't feel represented, protected, or compensated in our work. If we have to fight for a Juneteenth holiday to be formalized and for median pay. We're at risk in our work. We were sacrificed during the pandemic, and we give, and we do it willingly. We love our parks and we love our work. We perform and have performed according to the districts and the board's words and wishes. We trusted you during a global pandemic. We were scared. Some of us got sick, and we did our jobs. So please, from the depths of my heart, hear us and hear what we need, hear what we deserve, keep us financially safe in our lives, take care of us like we take care of our parks, earn back our trust, keep our loyalty, represent your mission statement and the desires of your public, and be fair, be just, show your humanity, honor your word and your workers with fair wages now, please.
Thank you, Tiffany. And who are you going to read next? Who's?
Mark Taylor.
Okay, you have 2 minutes.
Dear Board of Directors, my name is Mark Taylor, and I've been with the Park District for over 41 years, first as a park ranger and now as a park supervisor. I'm old enough to remember the strike of the late 70s when I started in the 80s. I can recall the animosity and distrust there was between park staff and the managers who crossed the picket lines as the strike was still fresh in everyone's mind many years later. It was clear then and is clear now the disregard and disrespect that management has for the workers in the field. The heart of the district is and always has been its employees. Do not forget that it was the workers in the field that kept the parks open during the pandemic, not the managers. The Park District clearly has the financial resources to give the workers a fair raise to keep up with the cost of living and median now and not over 3 years. There's no reason that managers should be paid 5% over while members are paid 10% below. No one wins in a strike, but I can wholeheartedly support the union's right to strike and will support them in any way I can. You have the power to end this many months long process and give the union what it's been asking for fair wages and for being paid median. Please instruct your management bargaining team to return to the table and let's get this contract over with without a strike. Thank you, Mark Taylor.
Thank you, Tiffany and Mark. Our next speaker is, next five actually, it's going to be Meadow Darcy, Renee Robinson, Pablo Sapero, Dawn Stevenson, and Lance Johnson. Meadow.
Hello, my name is Meadow Darcy, and I am an administrative analyst too for the Park District. I actually did not have anything prepared this evening to speak. I wanted to listen to my fellow coworkers speak and take some notes to sort of bring together their voice.
Okay. All right.
So, I'm sorry.
Well, you were saying you didn't have anything to say?
No, I'm going to speak.
Okay.
I did not prepare anything formal to speak.
All right.
So a couple of things that I've heard so far.
You actually almost used up your 2 minutes saying that. So
I did?
Yes. So anyway, keep going.
Okay. So I heard people say they have a 20-year-old car for a family of 5. They can't afford community college for their kids. They had to add an additional roommate. They had to take additional jobs. They have a master's degree. They had to downsize their housing. They had to take an additional job. And the cost of living in the Bay Area is too high. What we often hear from the district is that the district is prioritizing their unfunded liabilities, that there are too many liabilities for them to pay for. In our meeting, we discovered that the district had plenty of money to pay for those unfunded liabilities, as well as plenty of money to pay for the union's proposal, which is asking for median on April 1st. April 1st is years away from when the district knew we were underpaid, from when the district knew that management was 5% above median and we were 10% below median. What I am here to say today is that we are the unfunded liability. We are the liability that the district has not planned for. The district doesn't pay attention to its workers and how much money they make. When you're talking about a raise for a worker that is 5% below median, getting to median is life-changing money. Median, April 1st, is life-changing money. Your managers are already 5% above median. 5% above median or median, that's pennies for them. That does not mean the difference between having a 20-year-old car or taking a second job. Tell me a manager that's had to take a second job or has one car for his family of 5. There aren't any. We are the unfunded liability. Please begin including us in your prioritization and funding the unfunded liability of the district.
Thank you. Renee Robinson. Renee?
Thank you.
Okay, you have 2 minutes, ma'am.
Thank you. Good evening, Board of Directors, and specifically Dee Rosario and Dennis Waspy. You both worked for the district and gave service to this organization for many years. You came up in the ranks. Dee, I believe you started as what they called a groundsman, and you as well, Dennis. And Dee, you moved up to a park supervisor. You served as an industrial firefighter. Dennis, you moved up into a carpenter and then retired as a supervisor in the maintenance division. You know what this organization means to the Bay Area and 2 counties. And now, as the largest regional park district in the United States of America. And what we are asking for is nothing less than what you would ask for and have asked for your families. Please give a fair contract to the membership of the East Bay Regional Park District. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee. Just an announcement that Director Eccles has joined the meeting. Welcome, Director. Our next speaker is Pablo Sapero. Pablo, I see your hand, Jeffrey Jones. You can take it down. Pablo Sapero.
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You have 2 minutes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm Pablo Sapero. I'm park craft specialist at Tilden Park for 6 years. And I often hear coworkers speaking of the district and what will the district do or not do, as if the district were not us, but we are the district. I just want to remind all of us that we are a team. We are the district. This is not an us and them. We, the workers out in the field and behind the desks, keeping our parks safe and open to the public, even in these unprecedented times, along with our management that supports our work and our board of directors that guides our direction and oversees our progress towards the future. We are the district. We are the district. Unfortunately, though we are a team, we have not valued our contributions equitably. We have decided to prioritize compensating our team's management component with above median wages for quite some time now. While those of us out in the field and behind the desks, keeping our parks safe and open, have had to make do with wages that are well below what similar workers in our area make. It's well past due to correct this. We have shown that we have the budget to do the right thing here. We know what's right. We know what's fair. We're not asking to get above what other workers doing similar work get paid. We are not asking to get paid above median. We are asking for what is fair and just. We are asking you to authorize what is just, fair, and past due. We are asking for this now with no delay. Enough is enough. We are a team. We are the district. Thank you.
Thank you, Pablo. Our next speaker is Dawn Stevenson. Dawn, you have 2 minutes, ma'am.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good evening. My name is Dawn Stevenson. I am a 4-year East Bay Regional Park District employee and AFSCME member. Compensation, or an even better vocabulary word, remuneration, is one component of reward management. It always puzzles me when public agencies spend more money on a study that occasionally falls short of eliciting the results that the study participants expect. I'm referring to the class and compensation study. The number of hours spent compiling the data for this study initially was impressive and exemplary. Unfortunately, the result was unsatisfactory because of the limited funds allocated for the wage equity adjustment. Despite year after year of increased productivity, we haven't been able to share in the fruits of our labor. After reviewing Christian Belcher, MPA's presentation with the title, Results of Financial Analysis, East Bay Regional Park District, the Park District has a budget surplus. There is no fiscal argument that would convince me to wait until November 2022 after reviewing this presentation. Bringing AFSCME members to median will not create a fiscal emergency. It would be fiscally responsible and restore the balance of economic power, finally into the hands of those employees that management and the board of directors claim to be so proud of. Please value the financial well-being of all union members with the same fervor and dedication that management receives. Prove true your commitment to paying employees fairly. Show us how proud you are of us. Stop the delay and pay us what we are due and worth. Make sure the wealth generating labor of working people is rewarded justly. Bring all union members to median and continue the practice to eternity so that no group's wages fall behind. Let this be the last year union members and management spend 6+ months negotiating for fair compensations. Thank you for your time.
Our next speaker is Lance Johnson. Lance.
Good afternoon. My name is Lance Johnson. I am a park ranger and I've worked for the district since 2017. We are currently at an impasse negotiations, which is frankly surprising because we are not asking for much. We are asking for median, and we are asking for it now. When members of the public go to parks, we are the staff they interact with. When the public calls the park district, we are the ones they talk to. When the district needs to function as an organization, we are the ones that make it happen. We are the people that implement the steps to achieve the goals of the board, management, and public as a whole. Unfortunately, most of us cannot afford to own homes in the communities in which we work. I myself work 2 jobs, and the reality is becoming painfully obvious that I will never be able to own my own home. I always thought that if I work hard and dedicated myself to my work, I could have a job that both feels fulfilling and one I can survive on. Unfortunately, this job only meets that first need. The district pinches pennies when it comes to staffing because they claim it is financially responsible. Both they and we want to be seen as being careful with tax dollars, which is indeed extremely important. But there are many problems with providing wages that are below market. I'm going to talk about 2. First, the district ends up providing the public a lower level of service because we are constantly understaffed and undertrained. The district spends so much money on training and recruiting, but unfortunately, employees end up leaving for higher paying jobs elsewhere. This happens to such an extent that a large % of our positions sit unfilled. There's also a public perception issue. Instead of being seen as financially responsible, when the district doesn't provide jobs that are at median, the district is seen as abusing and eroding the trust of the public. The public expects the district not to only be careful with resources, provide opportunities for recreation, protect the land, but also to provide good jobs to our communities. If the district fails on any of those fronts, it will lose its validity, and the public may see less reason to provide us funding in the future. We are at a point in negotiations where this fight for median wage is becoming more public. The more this fight for median wage happens in the public realm, the less responsible the district looks, especially when it's so clear that the district can afford to pay us what is fair. We, the union, are united. Please bring us to median. Thank you.
Thank you, Lance. Our next speaker is Alyssa Kim.
Hello.
Hi, Alyssa. You have 2 minutes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, Board of Directors and General Manager Landreth. Thank you for your time and for the opportunity to address you. My name is Elisa Kim, and I am an acting gardener with the Regional Parks Botanic Garden. I've worked with the district for 3 years. I want to start off by saying that I love working for the East Bay Regional Park District. I love getting to work outside, serving the public, and knowing I can make a difference in many people's lives. But love, dedication, and passion are all things that can easily be taken advantage of. Park workers that embody these attributes can easily be taken advantage of. It is so disheartening to love my job and also hear that the Park District has a $77 million general fund balance, even though it is now common knowledge that so many union employees are being paid below median wages of similar agencies. We hear so many times that park workers are essential and important, and we especially hear it during the current pandemic. But keeping employees so far from a livable wage does not reflect this. Originally coming to the table with such measly raises of 1% and 1.5% and having everyone else split $750,000 to narrow a chasm does not show respect or acknowledgement of staff that have shown up time and time again. Refusing to increase wages to median immediately after months of negotiations is the ultimate slap in the face. ASME 2428 is the base and face of the Park District. It is not outlandish to pay median wages for employees, especially after seeing the financial breakdown of the budget. Your priority should be the people. Your pet projects should be people's wages. We need you to show that this is important for the future of the Park District. Thank you.
Thank you, Alyssa. Our next speaker is, next 5 speakers are Megan Succombe, Daria Schwartzchild, Justin Irwin, Ed Culver, and Melissa Foltz. Megan.
Hello. Hello again, members of the board, General Manager Landreth, and management. My name is Megan Seckham, and I've worked for the Park District since 2017 as an outdoor recreation coordinator. I work hard as a Park District employee, and I love my job, working with the communities to provide exceptional programming in their parks and open spaces. These spaces we all know well and love. ASME members deserve to be paid median wage and have real raises. I plead with the board to authorize the management bargaining team to negotiate median and real raises with ASME. The district can afford our union's proposals. The district has consistently had a budget surplus every year. You say staff were essential heroes during the pandemic. Please show us by prioritizing investments in ASME members' compensation. Management does not pay ASME members median wages compared to other Bay Area agencies. The district's management continues to add land, welcome more and more park users, and pile extra work onto our plates. Management can afford these wage increases for staff 3 times over. We want median in the first year, not sprinkled over the few years, and we want it now. Management got paid median years ago. We shouldn't have to be underpaid. District management had nothing to say in rebuttal when we presented them with irrefutable facts that there is enough money to do this. We are united and stand together with our union to say no more subpar wages. Stop eroding our fundamental union rights. We need real raises that actually keep up with the Bay Area cost of living. Managers should not be paid 5% above median while our members are paid 10% below. We deserve fair pay that matches our jobs, difficult jobs and workloads, to afford to live in the communities we serve, to be valued as employees rather than just given empty praises. No one wants to strike. No one wants to figure out how they will weather through it when they're living paycheck to paycheck already. But we stand united and we support our bargaining team. We will do what is necessary to earn a fair wage. Our communities and stakeholders in the district will suffer if a strike occurs. The parks will suffer. I hope you will do what is right. Thank you for your time. ASME member local 2428.
Thank you, Megan. Our next speaker is Daria. Excuse me. There you go. You have 2 minutes, Daria.
Hi. Good evening. My name is Daria Schwartzschild, and I've worked for the district for over 10 years, currently with volunteer services. I must say, I'm so moved, humbled, and proud to be a member alongside my union colleagues tonight as I listen to all of them. It's only a disappointment that we are here for this reason, but I want to say that I stand with and I am in agreement with everything that's already been said. ASME members have been asking for fair wages for months now, and also years. We've been paid far below workers doing the same work area agencies for many years. You've heard all the rest of this, so I'm just gonna cut it short and say I stand with what's already been said, and I thank everybody for speaking, and I hope that the board will do the right thing after tonight, finally. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Daria. Justin Irwin. Justin?
Hello.
Hi, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Justin Irwin. I'm the head lifeguard at Contra Loma. I started working with the district about 14 years ago. And recently I came to another meeting and I talked about the situation lifeguards are in. I talked about how we don't get overtime until we're at 45 hours. I talked about how our pay is also under the median, just like all the other ASME members. And I spoke about how the public, park staff have relied on my staff, on lifeguards, to care for them when they're in emergency medical situations. And this has all been while the temperatures are rising, the air quality is decreasing, and that just brings a whole host of risks to us and all the other ASME members that especially work outside. And I asked to rectify the situation with our overtime. I asked to fix the pay situation that we're in. And unfortunately, I don't think I or my other union brothers and sisters were heard. And that's disheartening. It's disillusioning to know that our well-being is an afterthought. It's disheartening to know that the reality of fighting our way to pay for our living in the Bay Area is an afterthought. I, as well as many other people on tonight have already said, work multiple jobs in order to support myself and my family. And that's with this compensation study that we had 3 years ago. This compensation study said what we should be paid 3 years ago, and now we're going to be told that we don't get that pay for 3 more years. And that's just That's not acceptable. That means 3 more years of struggling through more stress, struggling through more anxiety, depression, and fear of not being able to pay the bills and support our families. Again, that's not acceptable. The service we provide to the public, it can't happen without us. Like many other people have said, a lot of people don't want to strike. I don't want to strike. We love the jobs we do. We love serving the public. And unfortunately, if we have to kind of stick to our guns, we need to stand up for ourselves and stand by what's right. We need to be able to support ourselves and our families. I know that lifeguard season is ending soon, but I'm sure a lot of you remember the headaches we all had at the beginning of the season, all the frustration we had at trying to staff our facilities and keep them open. And you're going to need us next year, and it's just going to only keep getting hotter. Bring us back to median on year 1, retroactive to April 1st, and fix our lifeguard overtime pay. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Our next speaker is Ed Culver.
Good evening. Thank you for the introduction. Good evening, Board of Directors, President Rosario, and General Manager Landreth. My name is Edward Culver, and I have the privilege of being an employee for the Park District and have for the last 4 years. And I've actually had the opportunity to give presentations to this board as an employee, but this is actually my first time speaking to you as a member of the public. I'm very happy to be able to serve the East Bay Parks community and to be able to serve and protect the plants and animals and the natural resources that are part of our community as a steward for the Park District. I work with some really incredible people who are highly trained and very good at what they do. Many of us have higher degrees and bring years, if not decades, of experience to the Park District. But even within the last 8 months since the negotiations have started, 2 of my highly trained, technically skilled coworkers have quit their district jobs in favors of positions elsewhere, simply because it's no longer possible to raise a family or own a home or even live in the communities that we serve with the salary that has been afforded to us by the Park District. I worked closely with these people, and to replace them will be no small task. These coworkers were my age and could have provided their expertise and made careers at the Park District for decades to come, but they're no longer here. We're not asking for exorbitant raises. We are simply being asked to pay right now the median wage that the class and comp study showed 2 years ago. We are told that the district's finances cannot support us being brought to minimum or being brought to median, but we know the evidence, we've seen it, we have the data, and we know that it's available to you so that, and that the Park District is one of the most financially sound organizations in the region, if not the country. I really urge you now to give authorization to the negotiations team to bring the union employees to median right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Edward. I just want to make a quick announcement. I'm going to read the names of the people that I have left on my list. If you do not hear your name called, please raise your hand and leave it raised so that we can make sure that you have time to speak. So I have Melissa Folks, Giselle Hernandez, Rod Palmquist, James Henderson, Travis Vincent, Pamela Bates, Jeffrey Jones, Francis Mendoza. If I did not call your name, raise your hand and we will get you. Okay, so the next speaker, and keep it raised. The next speaker is Melissa Folks. And please stop your video until you're called. Melissa?
Thank you, Yolanda.
You're welcome.
Dear members of the board, my name is Melissa Folks and I'm a naturalist with the district. I have been back with the parks for 1.5 years now, and I'm on the negotiations team. I want to appreciate board member Colin Coffey for taking the time to speak with me earlier about negotiations. I definitely felt heard and felt it was a productive conversation. I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge this publicly. I want to share with the entire board that recently the negotiations team had an Ask Me subject matter expert speak on the district's financials and their ability to bring parks workers up to median in year 1 of our contract proposal, The report clearly showed that this was more than possible. The district's financial officer was in attendance during this portion of the meeting, and when asked if there were any questions, they stated they had no questions or commentary. For me, this is really disappointing, as I thought we would hear the sound justification for why our proposal was not reasonable. It was not until our Ask Me lead negotiator pressed for questions that a dialogue was had. But from that dialogue, information around why the district was not able to bring Ask Me employees up to median the first year was not addressed. This honestly left me feeling very disheartened. We have spent a lot of time in 8 months of negotiation time trying to meet in the middle with an equitable deal. I spent a lot of my personal time believing and hoping that the district and the board would understand where I and my colleagues are coming from. As mentioned prior, I was a teacher before returning to the district and took a pay cut when accepting my position as a naturalist, feeling reassured over time that I would break even, but with rising inflation costs and finding out that my position makes negative 9% away from median compared to similar agencies, this does not appear to be true anymore. Our members need and deserve median in the first year of the proposed contract. Personally, for me as a Bay Area native who grew up in the parks, specifically Coyote Hills and Quarry Lakes, I have seen the continued spike in cost of living in this area and frequently question if I can sustainably live in here permanently. My partner and I recently downsized to an even smaller one-bedroom apartment so that we could save money to pay off our student loans and save to be homeowners. As I stated last time I spoke with you all, I want to be able to call the Bay Area my forever home so that I might start a family via bio or adoption. It honestly really all depends on if myself and my partner, who is a school-based social worker, can realistically afford this. We have both dedicated our lives to that of public service, and in this endeavor have amassed a ton of student loan debt to be qualified for the positions we both now hold in our careers. We both did this because we care deeply about public service. We both see the value of public services and advocate for accessible, high-quality public services that provide positive benefits for people. In my case, by working to create more accessible open spaces for people to enjoy in East Bay parks. And in my partner's case, by working as a school-based social worker to normalize mental health services that supports our communities. I want to believe that the board also acknowledges that we are important stakeholders in our community and would like to see us not just survive, but thrive, because if we did, we would be able to support lifting those up around us as well. There is a saying that rising tides lift up all boats, and by providing an extension of your board authority, you would be part of making this possible. I implore you to bring AFSCME member employees to meet in year one as you have full board authority. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Melissa. Our next speaker is Giselle Hernandez. I don't see you in this meeting, so I'm going to keep moving. Rod Palmquist.
Yeah, I'm going to yield my time to other AFSCME members who have not spoken.
Okay, there's no yielding of time, so everyone's going to get 2 minutes. So the next speaker is James Henderson. Okay, Travis Vincent.
Good evening, members of the board, General Manager Landreth, and the rest of the executive management team. I've been a park ranger now with the Park District for a little bit over 5 years. Previously to coming to the Park District, I served in the United States Army. I've deployed to both Iraq and Afghanistan. In that time, I sat through many negotiations for my job that I did for the military. It's disappointing to see that in 8 months, that it's only now within the last few days, really, that the board of directors has actually come to the table with any kind of serious offers to try to make us whole. But even those offers don't actually make us whole. I generally don't like to speak in public. It doesn't bring me great joy. I prefer to work hard and keep my nose down, but I felt that the fact that we have members that are more than 15% behind, in their pay, it's very frustrating. And the idea that we had a $20 million surplus this year and didn't save a single cent to actually look at bringing those members whole tells me that the board is not taking seriously its employees, and that it is just lip service that it has to say that it cares about us and is proud of the work that we do. We're not asking for much. We're just asking to be brought to median and to be able to live in the communities that we support and to be able to bring families here. Thank you.
Thank you, Travis. I'd like to ask if Hannah, Spencer, Harley would please include your last names for the record on your, just change your name. The next speaker is going to be Francis Mendoza. You have 2 minutes, Francis.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. My name is Francis Mendoza, and I go by he, they, Sila pronouns. I'm here on the ancestral, unceded, and contemporary land of the Chicano people in present-day Union City. I'm calling in as a former naturalist and interpretive student aide who's worked for the Park District since 1994, and I'm speaking as a former naturalist who had been passed over for promotion 3 times in the last 5 years and has subsequently left the district because of it. As a former member of the Workforce Diversity Committee of Local AFSCME 2428, I was privy to the machinations of the district's claim and management's misguided efforts to, quote, pursue excellence in recruiting, engaging, developing, and retaining a diverse and inclusive workforce that reflects the communities we serve, unquote. When I left the district earlier this year, I was one of a few BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, and people of color in the Interpretive and Recreation Services Department. Subsequent to my departure, there are now three or four new naturalists who are BIPOC, and the first BIPOC supervising naturalist in the department. I'm encouraged by these steps toward the right direction, but I'm thoroughly discouraged by the district's lack of respect for front-facing staff who are not able to make a living wage in the San Francisco Bay Area, many of whom are BIPOC and come from marginalized communities. I left to pursue much better opportunities in leadership and management, and I'm now the manager of community development, leadership, and engagement for the Children in Nature Network, one of the district's partners in connecting children with nature. I am one of many former park workers who have left the district for better paying jobs, supervisory and managerial opportunities, and the lack of commitment the district has to support its BIPOC workers. Paying front-facing staff, and I refuse to call them frontline staff as it connotes an adversarial relationship with our beloved public. A living wage that allows them to raise their families above the poverty line is the right thing to do. By continuing to undervalue and underpay my sisters, brothers, and union family members, you're also devaluing our most marginalized, beloved communities that continue to decenter, dismiss, and erase Black, Indigenous, and people of color. Maraming salamat sa inyo lahat. Many thanks to you all.
Thank you, Francis. Our next two speakers are going to be Pamela Betts and Jeffrey Jones, and then followed by Paul Ferrerio, Vish Sora, Rhonda Leopold, Harley, don't see your last name yet, Spencer, Elaine, Trent Pierce, Hannah, Robert Fada, Kim Crispin, Emily W., Manuel, Ross Mitchell, Kate Collins, and Matthew Carson. After these speakers, the public comment period will be closed. So let's go to Pamela Betts, followed by Jeffrey Jones. Pamela?
How's that? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You have 2 minutes.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
I'm Pamela Betts. I'm the IPM specialist. I've worked for the district for 20 years, starting in ops as a park ranger and an on-call firefighter. 20 years ago, a park ranger job was a dream come true, but it was barely enough even then to support my family of 3 and eventually 4. If it wasn't for that fire OT, my family would not have gone on vacations. I would not have sent my kids to summer camps. My daughter would not have gotten braces. I am compelled to speak today because once again, I'm watching another amazing person, worker, a dedicated steward of this land leave because she can't afford to live in the Bay Area. This and several other of my colleagues are also leaving. Once again, over 20 years, we've watched this happen for East Bay mud and better pay for comparable classifications. We continue to stay and work in these jobs that we love, on the land that we love. We continue to remain understaffed in this minimum staffing model, losing amazing people because of this wage inequity, while we pay managers more and we acquire more land. We can't care for and steward appropriately the land we have, and yet you continue to sit on huge sums of money to leverage funds and to acquire more land. You can't afford to buy land if you can't afford to pay for it, to care for it and maintain it properly. If it's the minimum staffing model and the wage inequity that helps you to acquire more land despite your environmental intentions and aspirations like providing wildlife corridors and providing ecosystem services, but if you cannot properly steward it and care for it, that's the same thing as an environmental slumlord. I have been through a lot in 20 years. I have never thought about quitting, but I am morally exhausted from watching people leave, watching the ensuing environmental degradation that occurs. And all we are asking for is average salary, average. So do the right thing, please. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Pamela. Our next speaker is Jeffrey Jones.
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry about the video. My name is Jeffrey Jones and I am a park ranger here at Del Val. I just want to say that I am grateful that I've been able to meet minimum qualifications and come into the district through the fuels reduction crew in our public safety fire, the Diablo crew. And there was able to gain great experience in wildland firefighting, how to assist medical with the permission of those that we serve. And not only that, but the fuels reduction that it takes to help keep things safe. I'm so grateful to be able to say that I've been able to bring those skills in and be promoted as a park ranger, where I've been able to really utilize those skills, especially with the recent fire that we had. Now, with that said, I love my job. I love communicating with the public here, our park members and our park goers. I tell you what, I love my job. And I tell you, with everything, I would ask that we be brought up to par, that you can meet the medium, that I'm sure that if you were in our shoes, that you would probably be asking the same. Again, as much as I love my job, and believe me, I love sharing the wonderful nature, just the really intricate things about this park that I love so much, Del Val. And I want to just say this, as much as I love my job and my park, I also stand strong with my union, you know, and that I do. So I just want to say thank you for allowing me to speak, President Rosario, to our GM and Mr. Dennis Waspy there that I've seen, and know that we stand strong and continue to hope to move forward and to be able to be brought to medium. Okay. Again, I'm grateful. Look forward to continuing on, but we stand strong as a union. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Our next speaker is Paul Ferrario. Paul.
Good evening, President Rosario, board members, general manager and staff. My name is Paul Ferrario. I work in the risk management department. I was hired in 1991, the same class as Miss Yolanda and Mr. Sergio. One of the most enjoyable parts of my job is defending the Park District in small claims court. We've had great success in winning almost every case of a dozen or more cases, and it's because of the good testimony of park supervisors and rangers that come to these court cases. It really shows their professionalism and their dedication to the agency. I hear a lot about our unions, our management spending a lot of money on management projects. I don't know too much about that, but very recently, I see some good momentum now on employee safety projects. I hope we can keep that momentum going. In talking about money, please consider the number of dwellings, the increasing number of new dwellings in the two counties. Each one is at $5.44. Higher density is a little bit less, yes. And please consider the valuation of home sales. A home that maybe sold years ago for $400,000 is now past $1 million, and that churns a lot more money for the district. Real estate agents are bragging that in some pockets in the East Bay, homes are going for $1 million over the asking price, okay? So you say, well, what about the housing market? After the 1989 earthquake, there was a slight pause, but then it rebounded very strongly. After the 2008 crash, there was a pause, maybe a little bit longer, and valuations dipped, but it's come back even stronger. Risk management, our department is about rules and regulations and all that. But our assistant general manager 20 years ago told us that whenever we work with the parks, try to work things out with them, because the public likes the park district because of the parks, not because of the main office. So please bring us to median. I'm very concerned about open positions and salary savings, because I think they're inconsistent with employee safety. So thank you very much for having this special meeting, and please instruct the management team to bring us to median. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Rhonda, excuse me, Vish Soro, Vish. I hope I'm not mispronouncing your name. There we go. Yes.
Hi, my name is Vish Surshan. I'm an East Bay resident, and I grew up essentially going to parks. I can't think of anything that makes me happier than, going to a park, whether it be to find quiet and solitude or to share community with other people. And I definitely agree that the unsung heroes of the parks are, with all due respect, not management, but the park rangers and the employees that are in the backgrounds attending to the parks, keeping them safe, keeping them in a state that people can enjoy themselves. And, you know, listening to AFSCME members tonight talk about how while everybody else was, you know, hustling, doing what they had to do to keep safe, still the one safe space that the rest of us found were outdoors in the park. And despite all the dangers that COVID brought upon us, these AFSCME members were risking their lives and the well-beings of their families, making these places enjoyable for the rest of us. And to hear that with a budget surplus, that the park district is not considering paying these workers the medium wage is, I mean, it's just disheartening. I think somebody else said that, you know, this is not Walmart, this is not Amazon. That's the kind of behavior that you'd expect from them. That's the kind of behavior you expect from, you know, in a place like Wisconsin, right to work states, not in California, not in the Bay Area. These workers deserve more. The rest of us deserve more. We're all part of the same community, and we demand that they be treated with respect and dignity. Thank you.
Thank you, Vish. Rhonda Leopold. Rhonda?
Hello?
Yes. Are you speaking?
Hi.
Rhonda Leopold.
Hi. Oh, okay. This is Rhonda. I couldn't tell if you guys could hear me or not. My name is Rhonda Leopold. I'm a former employee of the Park District. I started in 1987 as a student aide, but got promoted to 911 dispatcher in 1988. From there, got promoted to community service officer, dispatch supervisor, and I also was an industrial firefighter for a little while. And what I'm just calling to say is that I'm very surprised at the Park District, because one thing that was always, that you would always know is you had job security, and the Park District was really going to look out for you. And I'm just stunned to hear that they have to consider at least paying people the medium wage. It is not right that people that live in our community, that make those parks wonderful for everybody, because they do, that they're not being paid right. One of the things I learned, at first I was always in the office, so I didn't know any better. And then when I got to be a community service officer, I got to see our park rangers and park supervisors being out there, being the face of the Park District, the real face of the Park District. I got to see our firefighters doing that and educating people and making people feel comfortable. The Park District knows that everybody deserves to be able to live and provide for their family. And it would be wrong to have people leaving because they won't do that. Because these people are the face of the Park District. That's all there is to it. They are the face of the district. Thank you.
Thank you, Rhonda. Our next speaker is, I just have Harley, but I don't see you anymore.
Hi, yeah, I'm using a friend's computer, so different name, but.
All right, you have 2 minutes.
Yeah, hello, my name's Ricky Teefy. I'm a member of the public, I suppose. I've lived in the East Bay my whole life and made very regular use of the parks. I live just a few minutes walk from Lake Chabot, and I go there all the time. We live in an area with some really exceptionally beautiful wildlife and environments. Unfortunately, we also live somewhere exceptionally expensive to live. I really do believe these parks are an essential part of our community, our education, and our environment. And the fact that they are as well maintained and as accessible as they are is a testament to the workers who maintain them. And so it was very disappointing to find out that their wages don't reflect this. They should not have to be working 2 jobs to live. They should not have to be only just scraping by or giving up in their hope to be able to have a family in the area. And they should certainly not have to be leaving the Parks District to look for other jobs so that they can live here. Our parks are important and they are not just a passion project. They deserve proper funding for the people who maintain them. People who cannot pay their rent or their food with their passion. And so I would really hope to see their wages raised at least to median, not only for the sake of the parks, which we all rely on, but for the sake of the parks, for the sake of the people who make our parks as they are possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Spencer Gilbert.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Spencer Gilbert. I am a member of the public. I wanted to express my appreciation for the park workers and all the responsibilities that they have, especially as environmental issues are compounding and pressure has been placed on them due to the pandemic. Listening to the testimonies, frankly, is just heartbreaking. And the fact of the matter is that the issue can be rectified through proper compensation. Again, I wanted to thank the park workers as graciously as possible for all the work that they've done, and I'd like to see them properly compensated. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Elaine Deshays.
Hi, folks. First, I want to just say I'm always drawn to the photo background behind President Rosario. I think I was up on that trail this afternoon. It's a beautiful park. But as an aside, let me go to the script here. Good evening, directors. Thank you for meeting this evening to hear us. My name is Elaine Deshays. I'm a homeowner, taxpayer, and voter in the district. I'm a 20-plus year employee and AFSCME Local 2428 member. After years of neglected salary equity, your someday approach to your agreement to bring us to median wages as per your commission study, we still wait. While you were telling us you would get us equity at the MOU contract renewal, we still wait. When the classification and compensation study results were reported 2 or 3 years ago, management quickly and smoothly raised to 5% above median for their jobs. We still wait. We have been out of contract for 5 months. We are tired of waiting. As a homeowner, taxpayer in the district, I am appalled to hear that the district has hoarded $150 million. Clearly, the district has been operating far under the amount of taxpayer dollars received for many, many years. And so immediately and retroactively bringing us to median will not make a dent in that. The $6 million annual interest alone on that would nearly cover it. Why are you telling us to wait? Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. Our next speaker is Trent Pierce.
Thank you, Yolanda. Members of the board, President Rosario, General Manager Landreth, thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Trent Pierce. I've been a naturalist with the district and an AFSCME member for 12 years. I completed a college degree specifically to become a park naturalist. And when I was hired by the district, I thought I'd landed my dream job. However, as time has passed, this dream has slowly turned into reality. The reality that I will never be able to afford a home where I work because I don't come from generational wealth. The reality that, like many others, I work 2 jobs to try and support my family. And the reality that while this agency claims to value their park workers, that value is not being demonstrated through material action. AFSCME members held this district together during one of the most difficult years for all of humanity. Many of us working in person from the very beginning of the pandemic, scared and without information. We are the East Bay Regional Park District. We are the faces and hands and backs that work to make this agency run. And now we are only asking to be paid similarly to our peers at other agencies. Being brought to median wages immediately is not only affordable to this agency, it's the right thing to do if you truly value your workers. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Trent. Our next speaker is Hannah Sloan, followed by Robert Fata. Hannah? Hannah Sloan, there you go.
Oh, sorry, I'm gonna turn off my video because I'm in my kitchen. Hi, my name is Hannah. I am a member of the public, and I think my story is a little bit different. I actually moved to the East Bay during the pandemic. So for me, the park system has been my only source for meeting people, my only source for salvation, my only way to get to know the East Bay. And it has been the most magical experience. And when I learned that the people who maintain it, the people who rent it, the people who introduced me to my new community, my new home, are being compensated fairly, it really saddened me and it hurt me, and it made me feel less at home where I now live. And I think it's doing a huge disservice to the public, and obviously huge, horrible disservice to the people that work there. And I can't believe that the board and the members who are able to pay them aren't paying them. And I hope that changes. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. Robert Fata.
Hello, my name is Robert Fata, and I've been a park ranger with the district for 8 years. AFSCME members have been paid much lower than employees doing the same type of work at other Bay Area park agencies for many years. The board and management have been aware of this since we finished the compensation study several years ago. Instead of prioritizing AFSCME employees, we have only slipped further behind. We absolutely need to be paid the same as other workers in our field. It is what is fair, and it is what is right. There's plenty of money to pay for our proposal. Please direct management's negotiations team to prioritize AFSCME members by bringing us to median in year 1. Thank you.
Thank you. Kim Crispin. Kim Crispin. There you go. You have 2 minutes.
Hi. Okay, thank you.
Don't worry about your video. You can just start speaking.
Thank you. Good evening, GM Landreth, President Rosario, and Board of Directors. My name is Kimberly Crispin, and I have worked for the district for just shy of 4 years. My current role as vegetation ecologist and IPM in the stewardship department is my dream job and has exceeded even the lofty expectations I had when I set my sights on this job many years ago. I'm currently sitting in an empty apartment, so please excuse the echo, as I move out of the Bay Area due to the prohibitive cost of living. Unfortunately, the steep cost of living here has necessitated a decision between staying and having a family. After 2 years of fervent house hunting, my partner and I had to accept the reality that we just could not afford to live here on our combined income. And it is with great sadness that I will be leaving my job at the district at the end of September. I know that many of my coworkers must be facing the same dilemma, and I hope that you will raise wages so that they are able to stay. There are many reasons that I am sad to leave the district, but first and foremost is that I will miss the incredible workforce we have at EBRPD. They truly put the special in special district. Working in IPM, there were countless times when I was daunted by a vegetation management project and put out a last-minute email to park staff to see if anyone could assist me. Time and time again, I've been blown away by how many staff members have changed their plans last minute to join me on hot days to do grueling work that is completely outside their normal duties. Their enthusiasm for facilitating safe park use and supporting healthy ecosystems is nothing short of inspiring. Not only do I deeply respect my supervisor and my coworkers, but I have felt so respected in return. As a female in a labor-focused job, that's not a guarantee. And EBRPD has set an example in terms of respect for, in my mind, for coworkers of all genders. I'm honored to have been part of such an impressive workforce. I believe they should be paid median at the very least. Please, please, please support fair wages for this more than deserving workforce. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Emily W.
Hi, my name is Emily. I am a lifelong Bay Area resident, and I am calling in support of the park workers and asking the district to raise their wages to the median in year 1. The East Bay Regional Parks have been, such a jewel in my life since I was, a baby. and a toddler, riding the pony ride and the carousel in Tilden Park. And then now in the pandemic and before, exploring all the different trails and all of the many parks. It's really one of the things that make this area, so amazing and make me want to stay here despite the absolutely absurd cost of living. Given that Oakland and the Bay Area, the cost of living is so high above the median, honestly, the least you can do for the workers that maintain this jewel of a park system is pay them the median of what workers in this country get paid. It's not even enough, and you should certainly do it in year one. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Emily, and I love those shades.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Manuel Tinoco. Manuel.
Good evening, Board of Directors and General Manager Landreth. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I have been a part of the Park District family for the past 24 years. I work as a park ranger on roads and trails, and I'm an on-call firefighter. I remember first meeting Director Rosario when he came out to Anthony Shpo Campground, my first work location, to get fuel for his park truck. I remember working as an industrial firefighter with Director Waspy. I have fond memories of and the utmost respect for both of you. I asked Director Rosario and Director Waspy and the rest of the Board of Directors to please direct management's negotiations team to prioritize ASME members by bringing us up to median in year one and retroactively to April 1st. It is what is right and fair. The district has more than enough funds to pay for ASME's proposal and remain in a strong fiscal position. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Ross Mitchell, followed by Kate Collins. Ross Mitchell, there you go.
Hi, thank you. I just want to say to start that I appreciate that the Board of Directors is holding this special meeting to discuss negotiations. As one of the things that we've been asking for, so we appreciate being heard on that. I had some comments written up, but after hearing Kim talk and finding out that she's leaving the East Bay Regional Parks District, I'm more upset than I was even a second. We've sat across the table from management for 8 months now, and we've talked about staffing shortages. We've talked about the extra work that the ASME members have done to keep the park district open to everybody to enjoy during a very difficult last couple of years. And we've been told that from the very beginning that there's a lot of uncertainty, the money's not there, that the initial wage package of percent and 1.5% was good and fair and what everybody else is getting. But that's not the truth. We've shown the district the truth is the money is there. Ralph Anderson study shows that what everybody else is getting is a lot higher than what ASME workers are getting. Just even last week, 2 weeks ago, we were trying, members of management and the chief negotiator for negotiations team telling us that people aren't leaving their jobs. And like a really respected coworker, Kim, is echoing in an empty apartment, talking about having to leave her dream job because she can't afford it. This is the sort of talent that's the district is losing every day. So I appreciate that y'all heard us and had the special meeting tonight, but you need to hear us again and bring everybody to median. And that needs to go back to April 1st. We're tired of waiting. It's time that the district make up some lost time and make that retroactive from when our last contract ended. Thank you.
Thank you, Ross. Our next speaker is Kate Collins. Kate?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. Good evening, Director Rosario, members of the board, Yolanda, and everybody in the parks. My name is Kate Collins. I worked as a supervising naturalist for the Park District for 8 years. And prior to that, I worked in many parks, including Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park, Denali National Park, the Everglades. I worked in interpretation, which is like being a naturalist. I worked as a coach. I worked in firefighting, bear management, exotic plant management. So I just have had a really broad range of experiences in national parks and other regional park agencies. It's so good to see all you folks back at East Bay Parks. I miss you. The Park District surely has a spectacular staff that makes it all possible. And the reason that you have such a spectacular staff is because workers in the past have come together, have organized, have gone on strike to demand fair pay, to demand safe working conditions. It is so heartening for me to hear the energy among the workers today and to see how determined and insistent people are to get their needs met and to get, it's just fair pay, nothing more that they're asking for. I know that will come about, and I trust that the board of directors will facilitate that happening sooner rather than later and without a strike. Nobody wants a strike, of course. I think, you know, in my time working for the agency, there was continuous hostility towards the workers from management, and it came across in so many ways, large and small and incomprehensible. And I've seen how during negotiations, management seems to think they're working in the public's interest when they bargain against the needs of the workers, but it doesn't work that way. We're not on, you all are not on separate teams. It really hurt my heart today. I was so sad to hear that apparently incentive pay for multilingual workers has been taken off the table in the year 2021 in an agency pushing for diversity and for a staff that represents their communities and can serve their communities best. How is it even possible to consider taking that off the table? It's just as important to pay workers fairly if you want to have a workforce that reflects the community. I know we have a lot of new board members. We have overall an entirely new board from the time when I began with the agency. We have a new general manager. I have great faith in you to turn over a new leaf. The problem of compensation right now for employees being behind is over 20 years in the making, because for many consecutive periods of negotiations, when workers asked for fair pay, management said, we couldn't possibly because we don't know how much you should be making. And then they refused to do the classification and compensation study.
Thank you, Kate. That's time.
Okay, thank you all. You know what I was
You're
going
welcome. The next speaker is Matthew Carson. You have 2 minutes, sir.
Good evening, members of the board, general manager, and staff. Hi, my name is Matt Carson. I'm a member of the public. I live in Antioch, near two of the district's beautiful parks, Black Diamond Mines and Contra Loma. I go to these parks often and have been visiting them since I was a kid. I can vividly recall swimming at Contra Loma Park as a kid on the beach before the pool that we have now had been constructed. I've hiked all over Black Diamond Mines for over 20 years. Suffice to say that that they have been an important part of my life for a long time. Throughout the pandemic, the parks were an important source of recreation and exercise. I would run at Contra Loma 3 or 4 times a week while we were on lockdown, but the parks are special and are able to run because of the workers. The district would not have been able to provide the essential services throughout the pandemic without them. The East Bay Park workers made sacrifices to keep the parks running throughout the pandemic. They put themselves at risk for the good of the public, and it's high time we paid them properly. Workers should be able to live in the communities they serve. The East Bay is very expensive, but the board can approve a raise so that the workers can stay in the Bay Area. The district has a surplus, so they have more than enough money to give the workers a raise. I spoke in front of this board 2 weeks ago, and I thought the board would get the message and pay the workers the median pay that they're asking for. I implore the board to bring worker pay up to median and not delay this any longer. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. We have 4 speakers left. Raphael.
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Hello again. My name is Raphael Ledesma-Galva, assistant head lifeguard at Del Valle East Beach. Decided to raise my hand last minute, because I noticed there weren't a lot of lifeguards, so I didn't want our lifeguard voice to get drowned out in the crowd. Pun intended, I guess. But we only have one article that's specific to lifeguards. Union Proposal 13, MOU Article 36, that's proposing to start overtime at 40 hours a week instead of 45, and have that retro to April 1st this year. Why? All of the reasons above that everyone else has said tonight. 3 of them, it's appealing for retention. We don't have very good retention, I guess, in our unit. It's fair and consistent across the board. If Rangers have 40 hours a week and everyone else, I don't see why we're being paid at 45 or starting at 45. And it shows that, the people above us, all the way up to the board members, they care about us. And yeah, I stay strong with my union, and I'll stay with them, as well as all my other lifeguards, and I'll spread the word. Someone said it before me, and I really like what they said. The deal's right in front of you. Take it.
Thank you,
Yolanda.
You're welcome. Thank you, Raphael. Kristen Horner, Annie, and then E. Connor. Those are our last speakers. Kristen?
Thank you, Yolanda. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Great. Good evening, Board of Directors and GM Landreth. My name is Kristen Horner, and I'm an 18-year employee of the district, currently serving as the very proud supervisor of an amazing staff at Cole Canyon Park, doing my best to hang on to waning morale. I'd quickly like to commend all of these incredibly dedicated union brothers and sisters for your amazing, eloquent statements this evening. I wholeheartedly believe and support and ask the Board of Directors to hear this honest and passionate feedback and value your essential workforce by ending this unnecessary impasse. A strike would cause even more financial hardships on staff, so please direct management to accept 2428's fair and well-deserved median proposals now. Thank you for your time, and we appreciate all that you do.
Thank you. Annie? Annie NB.
Hello, my name is Annie. Good evening, everyone. I am a Bay Area native, and I have been taking my children to East Bay parks for many years. Our go-to park is Tilden, and I cannot express enough my appreciation and support for the workers who maintain Tilden, the merry-go-rounds, the swimming areas like Cole Canyon, Lake Anza, and I've been. This is the first time I've attended a board of directors meeting, and I am very touched by all of the testimony that has been given by workers, and it's the bare minimum that East Bay Park workers receive the median wage of that's the bare minimum in my view, because it's the cost of living here is so expensive and so high, and they are the workers are the ones who create keep the parks safe and beautiful. So I urge the board of directors to respect and to honor the contract negotiations and raise workers' wages. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next and final speaker is going to be E. Connor. Just wanted to say by way of announcement, any other person that needs to leave a comment, please send us an email at yburial@ebparks.org. E. Connor, you're the last speaker. Thank you.
Hello, and thank you. I'd like to just extend my gratitude for all of the East Bay Park workers who spoke up today. And I'd like to urge the board not only to please listen to them. A lot of people shared so much about their experiences, both positive with the parks and also the real impact of the lack of this wage increase, you know, having to move, being displaced. I would just like to remind the board that Oakland is a union town. And while the East Bay Parks are a gift to the people of Oakland, we support the workers and we stand with them in solidarity. People do care about this. We are going to show up if there is a strike. And, you know, I just really urge you to take action, accept the deal. It's right in front of you. Take it. That's been said many times. And just wanting to express like my gratitude and love to all of the East Bay Park workers for not only everything that you've done, but like the organizing that you've done and showing up to share so many important things today. And I really hope that the board can hear you all.
Thank you, Ms. Connor. Director Rosario.
Great, thank you so much. Really appreciate all the very eloquent and heartrending stories that you were told today. And I just wanted to applaud all of you. And it does take courage, as I think it was mentioned in another previous meeting, that it does take courage to talk. And I appreciate your courage. And the board has heard your stories, and now it's the board's turn to go to work. And so with that, I just want to thank everyone for your participation. And I think we need to take a short break. Can we agree to meet at 9 o'clock? Is that too long? I don't see any dissent, so 9 o'clock. Let's meet back in closed session. Thank you all.